Welcome back, Devils fans, and it has been a long couple of days in a very long season. The 2023-24 New Jersey Devils season rolls on, and coming out of the melee that was the New York Rangers game the other night, New York Rangers forward and coward Matt Rempe receives a 4-game suspension for the chicken wing elbow to the face head of Jonas Siegenthaler, and much deserved. The guy's a complete piece of trash. Refused to drop the mitts with McDermott at every angle, ran for the hills, ejected from the game, throws in a wave, and suspended by 4 games. Well-deserved. Hopefully he learns his lesson, and I'm not going to talk about this too much. I talked about it at length before, as you all know. And, yeah, most analysts and hockey media around the league universally said that, he didn't follow the code, and the hit was uncalled for, that he needs to learn how to hit, yada, yada, but total disgrace in that game. He has received 4 games from the NHL's Department of Player Safety. And we'll see April 3rd if he runs to the hills or if he stands in there and takes his medicine from Curtis McDermott. I hope he's still in the lineup with the big club, and I hope McDermott smashes his face in. And again, end of that topic. Moving on, Jonas Siegenthaler suffered a concussion from said hit. We'll miss some time, and now we will finally see, back in the lineup, recalled from Utica, Hataka, and with an injury to Marina, we will likely see Nick DeSimone in the Devils lineup on the blue line. So Marino, Siegenthaler out, DeSimone and Hataka in. Will be interesting. I thought Hataka played really well when he was up here a few weeks ago. A lot of you have messaged me and said that you like Hataka and you want to see him back, and he's back. It took some injuries. Hataka will be back in there. Curious to see what he could bring. And, for the rest of the season now, it's going to be guys looking to make their mark and maybe leave an impression for heading into next year. We've also recalled, there was a couple more recalls here. Oh, Tyler Wotherspoon and Max Willman. So, again, minor moves, call-ups from the A. I don't expect much from any of these guys, but except for Hataka. I do think Hataka is really good, and I do think he could be a player that we see on the team next season if there's any trades or anything like that. But right now it seems like we do have a little bit of a glut on defensemen, and maybe more guys will have their opportunity now. Miller was shipped out. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on that and what the defense looks like for next year. We play the Dallas Stars tomorrow night, and then we have the Coyotes on Saturday, and then Sunday against the Vegas Golden Knights, a little 3-game road trip coming up here, and we'll be curious to see what the boys can do. I mean, at this point, we're playing for pride. That last Rangers game was absolutely disgraceful on many levels, and hopefully we respond and can pick up some points and some good feelings out on this road trip. But I am very concerned going forward. You all know that I've said I thought this roster was Charmin soft all year long, and I've thought it way before I even had this channel. And the reality is this is a glaring issue that I do believe Tom Fitzgerald has to address in the summer and get us some more grit. I mean, that Rangers game is a classic example. Yes, we have McDermott. I always think you need the heavyweight enforcer for stuff like that. And usually the refs do their job and let the guys like McDermott do their job. And in that scenario, you would have seen Matt Rempe's face broken on the Madison Square Garden ice. But aside from the enforcer department, you do need just tough forwards. In a game like that, I want to see forwards start tackling forwards on their team or challenging their forwards or running guys. There was really no response. There's no physicality on this team. And when it comes to it, these games down the stretch that play like playoff wars and playoff games themselves, I do not think you're winning anything in this league with a team that is all speedy finesse figure skaters. And that's just the reality of the league. Hockey is a man's sport. It is by nature a violent sport. And when you have a bunch of finesse guys, and no knock on them, they're good at their role. But you also need the complementary pieces that can go to the corners, that could get down and dirty, that could hit people, that could grind, that maybe will drop the gloves once in a blue when it comes down to it. But the reality is we have none of those guys really. And it's disheartening to watch a game like that where, they're taking liberties. Rempe does a flying elbow to the head of Siegenthaler. Our tough guy tries to get him He gets booted from that play, and then there's no chance of retribution. In a game like that, other people must pay the price. We need to finish every check. Other guys must get challenged. Other guys must get punched in the mouth. And it's just a very unfortunate state of a team that we are right now. There's just no heart. There's no soul. There's no answer. And we just got battered. And in a game where, it was close for a lot of the game, we were just beaten. We were just physically and mentally beaten. And you can't have a team like that if you want to win. So amongst my biggest issue of the goaltending, as you all know, I do think we need at least 2 forwards in the summer with some grit. And we need, I would like a really nasty Gudis type defenseman. Just get me some really nasty Mo on the blue line that's just going to hit and bring that physicality. We're lacking that as well. And so I think the roster needs at least those 4 or 5 pieces to become competitive. A real goalie, a physical defenseman. I would like 2, but I'll settle for 1. And 2 gritty type forwards. Bring some sandpaper to the lineup. I think that'll go a long way. But as it stands right now, if we go into next season largely with the same roster and obviously a healthy Dougie Hamilton, I think we'll be a good team. But I'm not going to be have any sort of high hopes unless all those other issues are addressed. We're not built for the playoffs. We surprised everybody kind of last year with our breakout season, upset the Rangers, but then we got handled by Carolina. They play a physical, heavy game, and you just need more ways to win than just coming off the rush. Teams kind of figured us out. It's old news, and we're easy to play against now. And throw in a little smash mouth hockey, and the Devils wilter and die. And we saw it in the Ranger game. And so I think Fitzgerald really has to figure out how he's going to add a lot of tenacity to the lineup in the summer. I think it's a must, and I'm very curious to see if he brings home a trophy from his big game hunt. I've said before, I think Markstrom is the most likely, obviously, because we were heavily rumored to him for months now. He waived his no movement clause to come to the Devils, so in his head he was already here. And so it just seems like to me, if there is going to be any sort of, big name goalie trade, I think it will be Markstrom, and hopefully this summer we get a discount to sting the pain a little bit of the lost season that was the 23-24 season. Had we got Markstrom months ago, I believe we're comfortably in a playoff spot, but that was not the case. And so I look forward to the summer. If Markstrom comes here, I would like the move. I would like to see other win now moves made in conjunction with that, because I don't think Markstrom alone is going to make us a legitimate contender. But as I mentioned before, give me a nice, nasty defenseman. Give me a couple grittier forwards up front with Dougie coming back off his injury and with a season under their belt, full season for Luke Hughes, and most of a full season for Shimo Nemitz. I think we could be a pretty dangerous team next year, but I'd like to see all those moves in conjunction with the goalie. And if it's not Markstrom, I am at this point so fed up with the goaltending situation as a whole. I am certainly willing to offer up a fat trade package for UC Saros. I do think he has been my number 1 pick of the bunch due to age and what I believe he could do. It'd be a long-term answer in net, a guy that could steal games for us and manufacture wins when we sometimes come out flat. There may have been 1 or 2 instances this whole season where I said a goalie stole a game for us. Outside of that, we have to, bring our up-tempo, high-speed offense and sometimes score 5 and 6 goals to win a game, and that's just not conducive, again, to being a really good team in the league. You have to be able to grind out those 2-1 wins. Someone asked the other day how many 2-1 wins we had on the season in one of the comments, and it was either 2 or 3, I forget, but it was either 2 or 3 2-1 wins, and that's a very telling stat, I think, as well. You need to be able to grind those out. Not really a thing of this season. It was more high-scoring shootout type wins, 6-5, 5-3, 5-4, a lot of those, and it's going to be hard to score 5+ goals every night in the National Hockey League. It's just the goalies are good, teams are good. It's just not that easy to do. We've made it look easy on some nights, but some nights our offense has looked absolutely putrid, where we got shut out or scored 1 goal, and it seemed like the well had run dry on some nights. So I really would like to see all those changes this summer. Fitz, I think, has his work cut out for him. We should have a lot of cap space to do it. Whether he uses it or not is another story. We had a mountain of LTIR money from Dougie, and we essentially did not much with that other than buy a 4th-round pick when we facilitated the Tanev to Dallas trade. But, there's some free agents. I'm going to be doing some videos coming up about who I'd like to see on the coaching staff, what players I would like us to target in free agency. Yeah, so look for those in the upcoming weeks. But as of now, it's just playing out the rest of these games and seeing what we have in some of the young kids. I thought, I got distracted with all the Rempe stuff in the Ranger game. I did think that Kahkonen played a great game. He showed a lot of promise. And I do think had we obtained him in January or February, while his numbers in San Jose were terrible, to me, again, it's only one game, but his first game as a Devil in the Garden, he looked pretty damn good. And if we got that level of goaltending from months ago, I believe we're a playoff team. I really, really do. And that is the single reason why I wanted Fitzgerald gone, why I continuously will want him gone, because to me, complete malpractice as a general manager when every media outlet on the planet and broadcast team kept saying Jersey needs a goalie. When are they going to get a goalie? When are they going to go to get a goalie? And Fitz went with the hope and wish approach, which played out terribly. And then he goes and gets 2 goalies on deadline day. I just can't understand it for the life of me. Even Kahkonen in January or maybe early February may have made the difference for the season. And I think we've kind of, fell off now that we've been out of it. It seems like the team is just broken in so many ways and dejected. But I do think we'd be right in the playoffs, even with Kahkonen from a couple months ago. I really do. We just had league worst goaltending, and anything remotely resembling NHL average goaltending would have been the difference in many games, and it would have been, an easy 4 or 5 more wins, 8 to 10 more points in the standings for us at a minimum, and we'd be in the playoffs. Detroit's been playing horrible as of late. The Islanders seem like they're going to get in now, and, teams were begging to give their spots away. And it looks like the Islanders are going to claim one of them. If not a wild card, they may finish 3rd in the Metro. They may take that flyer spot. But all interesting to see how it plays out. Who knows? Maybe the Devils could somehow win 3 or 4 in a row and make teams sweat. At this point, they haven't shown much to make me believe they're capable of putting together any sort of long winning streak. But it is what it is. I'm curious to see when we see Jake Allen in net for his first game. But I hope we see a lot of Kahkonen, down the line. I'm very curious. He's unrestricted, and Fitz claims that Allen was brought in to be our backup for next year. But I don't have faith in that. And so I'm just, while Kahkonen's here, I'm very curious to see if maybe he could force Fitz's hand to give him maybe a 2-way deal where he could either play for the Devils or Utica. It's very interesting. He's younger than Jake Allen. He showed some promise in that first game. I'm very curious to see what he brings. But I'd like to see both Allen and Kahkonen in the net a lot down the stretch just to kind of assess what we got here. Even though it was too late, I'm now looking to see for maybe next year what the Cards may hold for the goaltending. I don't believe we're going to get the big guy, so I'm very curious. Kahkonen maybe could be an interesting play. Let me know what you guys thought about, the Rempe suspension in the comments. Let me know about anything else. Are you guys excited to see Hataka back? Are we finally going to see DeSimone? It seems that way. Anything else, throw it out there in the comments. It seems like it's been a while since I talked to you guys. I've been just kind of stewing about the whole Rempe thing. And by the way, on a side note, the majority of their fans on YouTube are complete trash. Just read some of the comments. These are just some of the dumbest, most uneducated trash people on the planet. Not all of them. A few normal, respectable fans came through and wrote stuff about Rempe and whatever else. But I think a lot of them are just like troll children or just, people that didn't graduate the middle school. They might be 6th, 7th grade dropouts. I can't even decipher some of their sentences. But what complete trash. Let me know what you thought in the comments. What do you guys think we do on this little road trip here with the 3 games? Dallas, Arizona, Vegas. Is it possible we go 3-0 and start talking playoffs again? Anything is possible. It is the 23-24 New Jersey Devils wild season. I will talk to you all soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.